Good morning out there. Good morning from my side of the world because I'm actually not in Europe right now. I am traveling. I'm over visiting family in the States, so it's early for me. Now, listen, if anyone is tuning in live, let me know. Let me know who's there. I am on my iPhone, so I can't see who is there, but if you end up joining live, type live. If you watch the replay, hit replay. Today's session is on the mind. So I'm trying to cycle through mind, body, planet, mind, body, planet. We did planet last week. So we will do live now. Sorry, it's still early. I haven't had a coffee. If you're joining live, let me know who's there. And if you're watching the replay, just type replay so I know you tuned in. And obviously, if you want to let me know if you found this useful, that's always helpful. Okay, so today we are talking mind, and I thought it'd be really useful to give you a little bit of, hi Amy, so nice to see you. So we're going to talk mind, and today I thought we'd do a little bit of Meditation 101, just giving a little bit of background on posture, location, thoughts, and obviously if you have any specific questions, feel free to type it in if you're tuning in live. But I think we get this idea that meditation is more complicated than it really is, and it's not. So let's first talk about posture. Forget all those photos of people that you see sitting in like with their legs in lotus and in mudras. I'm doing stuff with my fingers. These are called mudras, and they do have significance, but that's not how you have to sit for a meditation practice. The point is to be comfortable. You should not be uncomfortable when you're practicing a meditation. And you're not glued to one spot. I think that's that feeling, and I've had this before, that you think, okay, I'm now here and I can't move. I shouldn't be moving. I'm supposed to be still. I'm supposed to not think. We'll come to that in a little bit. But I'm supposed to just be still. And yes, we try to be still. We want to be still because if your body is still, then your mind can be a little bit more still. If you're fidgeting around, then you're quite distracted. But if you're uncomfortable throughout the whole practice and you're thinking about that the whole practice, that doesn't do you any good at all. So you want to be comfortable. You want to find a comfortable seated position that works for you. And sometimes this takes a little bit of time, and that's fine. You might test things out. My teachers always recommend sitting in a backed chair. So something that you could lean against, but you still want to be upright. And you want your feet, if you're sitting in the chair, you want your feet to be planted, both feet on the ground rather than a leg crossed over. Now, does everyone sit that way? No, I actually don't sit that way. I sit in a back chair, but I have my legs crossed, not leg over the other, but Indian style. And that works for me, but I've got the support of the chair, my back is upright, my head's like stacked right over my shoulders. I found that plumb line, so I'm erect, but I'm also comfortable. And I always think it's very good to think about royalty, taking a seat on the throne. So you're dignified, but also relaxed. They're comfortable on that throne. And I want you to think about being comfortable in your meditation throne. Okay, if you need to move throughout the practice, move, but do it mindfully. So bring an awareness to why you're moving and be specific. Be specific or intentional about where you're going to move your body to so that you can be comfortable for the rest of the practice. Okay, so the next thing is talking about location, where you should practice. Actually, let me come back to posture. Chair, you could be on the ground, by the way. And again, if a chair doesn't work for you, you could be against a wall on the ground. And even if you're practicing, if you don't like support, test it out. I think it works better for me to have that support, but you don't have to. Okay, now location. Where is the best place to meditate? This is the beauty of meditation. It is a practice that travels with you. The only place you probably shouldn't practice meditation is while you're driving and in a car, but you can practice in a car if you're a passenger, and I've done it before. I've practiced traveling to work on a tube, on airplanes. Meditation is an amazing skill to have when you're traveling far distances and you're switching time zones, because it helps you adjust to the time zone that you're in more quickly. So if you're flying long haul, meditate at takeoff, meditate while you're coming down, because it helps you adjust. But the beauty is, it is a transportable practice. So you really could practice anywhere as long as you can find a comfortable seat. Our teachers used to, both Tommy and I have the same meditation teachers, and I mean, they had a whole session on, okay, local church, local community hall. Like if you're walking somewhere and you find an open park, you could meditate there. Just trying to find the tactics so that you, to make it really easy, so that you realize that you can actually create a consistent meditation practice, and it's not dependent on one specific location. Now, that said, as you are creating your meditation practice, I do think if you're practicing at home, that you do want to find that one spot in your house that works for you. I have a specific meditation chair that I go to, and it helps me go deep a little bit quicker. It just reminds me of what I'm doing and why I'm practicing. And also when my children come in, which they do, and they interrupt, they sort of see that I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, and they know, okay, well, that's mommy's meditation time, and maybe I shouldn't bother her. That's not to say they don't bother me. They do, of course, because sometimes they need some things. But for the most part, that should indicate meditation. So yes, if you're practicing at home to create that consistency, it helps to find one specific location in your house that you feel comfortable and you can just drop into the space. But it is a transportable skill, and you can do it in any spot. I actually used to practice in my office at work. I'd shut the door. I had an office. I had the beauty of being able to shut a door, and 20 minutes, and I would just spin my chair around so that my back was to the door, and shut my eyes, and I'd meditate. But it's transportable and you can do it anywhere. Okay, so the next thing is timing. I trained in Vedic meditation, so I have a mantra that my teachers gave me based on the state of my being, my physical structure, my age, where I live. It's a whole process. They're skilled at that. That said, when I first started meditating, I meditated to the Calm app. I found it really helpful. I actually really liked Tamara Millen's 10-minute daily calms. And 10 minutes seemed like a really long time when I was starting, and I needed someone to guide me through. Now I'm at a place where I have my mantra and I meditate 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, and that sounds like a long time, but my body has adjusted to it, and I've really carved out that space because I know the benefits that I'm getting from it. And actually, by spending that time, I actually gain time back. I actually gain time because I wake up earlier. I'm not as tired as I used to be. That's one of the beauties of meditation. That said, starting out with 30 minutes, that would have overwhelmed me. 30 minutes just once, then thinking about 30 minutes twice a day, oh my gosh, that would have been like, I'm never gonna do this. I always recommend to start small. If you want to build a consistent habit, start with just shutting your eyes every day for 60 seconds and get used to just having your eyes shut and seeing what happens, watching your breath, seeing your thoughts, likening your thoughts to sounds. Like if I had my eyes shut now, I'd hear a lawn mower behind me, and seeing where that led my thoughts and how it had that sound led to another sound, and then maybe that triggered thoughts that all of a sudden I was able to watch the thoughts as an observer. And this is one of the benefits of having a meditation practice. You start to step out of yourself. You start to almost be the silent observer that's watching you. It sounds a little bit weird, but instead of connecting to everything and getting drawn into the thought patterns, you end up just being able to watch them and seeing where they go and recognizing how they're making you feel. and becoming aware if that's reality or not reality. And a lot of our thoughts, they are stories. They're stories in our head that have no place. And unless we address them, acknowledge them, and accept that they're there, then you can't actually move past them. We're running away from them. So I've gotten on a sidetrack, but timing, if you're just starting out, just set yourself up for success. Goes back to Amy, I know I recommended this book to you before, goes back to starting small with small habits. Like, what's that one little step that you could take to create the habit? Maybe it's setting your alarm in the morning 5 minutes earlier and going to splash water in your face and then sitting in the chair. Not even shutting your eyes at first, just sitting in your chair. You're reading it, great. Some good little tips. So yeah, maybe you're just sitting in that chair every morning for 5 days without even shutting your eyes. You're just getting used to being in that chair. Great, that's your first step. And then you add on, and it's the same with the timing. You get used to 1 minute, you get used to 3 minutes, then maybe you adjust to 5 minutes, then you go to 10 minutes. And sometimes you drop in really quickly, sometimes your mind is super busy. That's fine. It's just creating the consistency, because if you do something every day, you'll get much more benefit than you would if you do once for 30 minutes a month, once every 6 months for a much longer period of time. Just because you do a longer time doesn't mean anyone is any better. It's the same thing in a yoga practice. Just because I might be able to get into a posture that some of my students can't, that has no reflection on me as a good human being. And it's the same as your meditation. If you have a consistent practice of 5 minutes a day, I actually think that's much better and much healthier for you than if someone meditates for an hour and a half once every 6 months. So start small, build over time, and create the consistency. That is where the beauty of this practice really starts to show up, and you'll get the benefit. And then thoughts. So many people come into meditation, and I definitely was one of them, thinking, I'm not supposed to think. I can't switch my mind off, so meditation's not for me. Anyone that thinks that way, those are the people that need to meditate even more. I was definitely that person that thought I couldn't switch off, my mind's too busy, so I shouldn't be meditating, it's not right. No way. Oh my gosh, I get so much more benefit out of it because that's how crazy my mind is. And it really does. It's like do, 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 do. But I've learned to calm it through my meditation practice. So thoughts are normal. Thoughts are totally normal. They happen throughout the day, non-stop. And we can get pulled into them, or we can learn to acknowledge them, accept them, and then move away from them. And that's both we learn that through having a consistent practice that we come, we sit, we close our eyes for however long you're going to, and you start to watch and you see where your thoughts go, and you realize if you're connecting with them or not. I connected with my thoughts for so long that they made me feel like a bad person. I thought I genuinely was not good enough at certain things because of these thoughts that were in my head. They were on running repeat all the time, and I never even recognized they were there until I started meditating. And it did make me feel a little bit worse at first because I recognized it, but it was in the recognizing that I've been able to move through it and recognize that those stories are stories, and I can choose to connect with them and believe them, or I can choose to say, you know what, you have no place here. I'm going to accept that they're there, but I'm actually going to say bye-bye and shut the door on you right now. But I've accepted it. I've accepted that my mind has gone there, and I'm actively choosing to move it away. Sometimes my mind is really busy during a meditation practice. Sometimes it is much more still. It just depends on what's going on in life. And so what I want you to know is just because you're thinking during your meditation process does not mean you're doing it wrong. Actually, you're doing it right. Your body is processing the stress. And this is what meditation does. It processes the stress that has been stored deep down in your body over years since you were born. It's processing that stress and it's moving it through your body And those thoughts are ways of getting the stress out. So think about your thoughts as good things that your body is processing and allowing you to release into the ether so that you can be here and present right now, rather than away with those thoughts that have no place. So you're releasing stress, and through this consistent process, you release a lot of stress. You have a healthier, build up your immune system. You are calmer with the people around you because your nervous system has calmed. You are able to address any challenges face on rather than running away from them, putting things off. You sleep better. There are so many benefits of this practice, and it's something that means the world to me, and something that I really, really, over anything, encourage people to find that this as a consistent practice for them. Movement, super important. Having your healthy eating habits, super important. Having a consistent sleep pattern, super important. But meditation is life-changing more than anything, I found, for me. So there you go. You've got some little tutorial 101. I'm sorry I look so tired right now. I'm not that tired. I actually finally had a good sleep because I had been waking up a little bit early because of the time change. My meditation practice has gotten me a little bit quicker into the time zone, but I still, it doesn't solve everything, by the way. So anyway, I hope that tutorial was good. Think about your posture, think about your location, think about the length of time, set yourself up for success, and thoughts. Don't be discouraged if you have thoughts. Okay, if you watch the replay, please let me know that you watched the replay by hitting replay, and let me know what was the most helpful in this. Send me a comment, Amy, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And if there's any specific thing that you want these 15-minute little sessions to be about, let me know. Next week will be on body. I'm thinking because March 18th is World Sleep Day that we might do a little bit of something on sleep. But if there's any other requests, let me know. Until next time, everyone, be here and be well.